Hello and welcome back to the Aqua Pod. I'm your host Charlie, and on this episode I'm joined by national coach Ian Wright as we discuss the recent success of Scottish athletes on the European stage, as well as looking at the most recent national events in Scotland. Ian also takes on our Singapore themed quiz as we look ahead to this month's World Aquatics Championships. We hope you enjoy this episode. So, great to have you back on the podcast, Wrighty. Been a while since you've been on, but I think you're now the joint highest co-host on 4 episodes, so great to have you back on.
Thanks very much. Pleasure to be here again.
How have things been with you since you were last on? I think it was in February. An awful lot's kind of gone on in the competitive sphere since then.
Yeah, it seems to have flown by. Almost 6 months on from there. Mm-hmm. We now know a lot more about how our athletes have been tracking and getting on, and whether their training has been successful this season or not, because we had in April, of course, the Scottish Age and the British Champs. Mm-hmm. Those were big events for us to be out and be part of, and we had some really good performances at those, which is, we have to look at all of that, see which swimmers make the British teams or various squads and stuff after that, which, I'm pleased to say Scotland's well represented across the board this summer. I think we have at least one Scottish athlete on every team possible, including diving.
Yeah.
In swimming and diving, so I think that's really quite good. And obviously the World Championships and World Para Championships kind of like the topping that off. The Para Champs come in September, but
later,
the World's
quite a bit later.
The World one in Singapore first.
Yeah, so certainly lots of positivity coming out of that April period, where April and May for diving period, where these competitions happen and selections happen off the back of them as well. Yeah,
it was. Great results there. Then people get back into training after that. People, tends to be the rest of April and May and part of June. A lot of people obviously have their exams in that stage, so it can be a bit of a tricky balance. Stress levels can be a bit higher, you find in that. But I think I always find that you get to the end of May into June. That's that first week of June. You're kind of into what we'd call the summer phase of the season, and schools and universities are probably finished. Your exams are probably over. You don't have as much to worry about and as much to do. Swimmers get a bit more chance to focus in on their sport. Some go on training camps to prepare for Scottish and British championships or international events. So it's always my favourite part of the season, this kind of June-July phase.
Mm-hmm. From a coaching perspective as well, was that the bit that you always quite enjoyed, when there's maybe less distraction and then it's time to kind of laser focus in on each individual goal for swimmers as well?
Yeah, I think you can make a big difference in that part. Even if the rest of the season maybe hadn't gone entirely the way you wanted it to that point, or even if it has, and you've been consistent, I think this phase, because I don't stress that academic part of the daily life taken away from the swimmers, and it's just such a big relief. You can tell that, you see it in them. The pressure's gone from the exams and the day-to-day kind of grind of school or university work. They're just in a much better place, a happier place, and they're ready to focus in. You don't get as many illnesses or distractions that are keeping them from doing particular things. So you get that. I think you get an extra focus, and if you can deliver that more as a coach for them and say this is really important, and we can use this summer events, whatever they may be, for your level, to really progress you forward, then that's what you should aim to do. Pick your target and go for it.
And we've already had a couple of competitions so far in the past couple of weeks up in Scotland that are, leading into the final meets of the season as well. So we had the Scottish National Open Championships, which was at the end of June, and a slightly lower key affair on the kind of top level, with quite a few of our top swimmers being away in either at other meets or at other championships. But some great performances there, and also the Scottish Summer Meet as well, which is the end of meet season for a number of our younger athletes and age group swimmers.
Yeah, it's been really good from a Scottish point of view, those two events. Very, very popular now. Really good entry for those meets. The Scottish Open, I think, we might have to look at the qualifying times for next season, because we had 800 rejected swims from it this year, which is too many. Because people get disappointed, but it's a sign that maybe standards have improved in the last few years, because the qualifying or the consideration times to get into these competitions, we try to pitch them at a level that will get about the right number to fill the available time, and if we're getting more than there's time available for, it's disappointing that we have to cut people back, but it's also a good sign that the event is popular and people want to take part. And it signifies a certain level of health in the sport.
Yeah, of course.
Because it's like, well, people are wanting to come to these events and do them and race, and it's not easy for everyone. People have to spend money to travel and come, and Edinburgh's not a cheap place to do it. So
no.
People are willing, and I know some of them come from outside of Scotland. It's an open meet. It's called the Scottish National Open, so you can attend it from anywhere in the world. And it does, even though we had a few of the very top ones away at with the British team, it still provided a strong meet with good finals for racing in the evening, A finals, B finals, para finals. And really, really, really good event. I think it was ran well. The reputation that Scottish meets have is pretty good. So we're pleased that happened again. And the Scottish Summer Meet just finished up the last few days, and again that's always been since it. Well, I think it's grown in popularity again and grown in its meaningfulness as time's gone on in the last few years from when it was initiated about 10 years ago. And you can really see that although the very best swimmers still are focusing on British, some of them are still at the Scottish Summer Meet doing different races, and then it's the best of the rest in each event. And I just think it provides really good competition and a focus for that group of athletes to either end their season on, or kind of be part of their summer range of meets that they're doing to help move themselves forward. And of course, these meets now are really critical in terms of our squad selections. These two Scottish events and the British Championships, as well as all the international meets, but those domestic ones are really important in determining whether the swimmers will get themselves into the junior academy program, the youth academy program, junior and national senior team, because we do a lot of those squads, you have to do the times at the big meets.
Of course.
So that it's really important that they really focus in on those.
And good to have that focus for the end of the season as well. If you maybe haven't quite made the Aquatic GB Next Gen Champs in your favourite events or in any events, still having that opportunity to end the season strongly and compete against other peers and really strong swimmers as well.
We don't. The Scottish Summer Meet is not officially a national championships, but it's a national event where those swimmers can come along and really move their performance forward. Clearly, everyone doesn't do a personal best time every time they get in the water, but it is a chance and an opportunity. We set the meet up well to help swimmers perform well across the 3.5 days of competition. And it includes finals and rest times for between heats or before the afternoon heats, so that people can look at it, whether you're swimming quite a few races or only 2 or 3 races. It's an opportunity to go to traditionally what we consider a good pool, a fast pool, in Aberdeen and really move your performance on to the next level, and then you feel good about yourself going forward.
Of course. And coming up next week, or starting this weekend actually, and feeding into next week, is the rebranded Aquatics GB Next Gen Champs, which was previously the British Summer Meet. And a number of Scottish swimmers will be there as well, and it also is going to sort of work as a qualification meet for the World Para Swimming Championships as well, so there's that element to it. There was a phase 1 after the Aquatics GB Championships in April, and this is phase 2 of qualification, so quite a lot on the line for swimmers. You mentioned about squads and things, which is always in the back of the minds, but there is also that international element, which is quite good and helps to raise the profile of what is this sort of new look event for swimming in Britain.
Yeah, I think Aquatics GB is obviously going through a period where they're trying to rebrand some of their event, or all of their events, to, raise the profile of them and get the social media and wider marketing exposure to these events, because there are many people in the UK who are very interested in swimming.
Yeah.
And it's about attracting that audience, so I know it's good to see work going along to that effect, and hopefully it'll be another good meet. It always tends to be a strong meet where everyone, it does include senior athletes, but the best age group swimmers in Britain come together at the end of or midway through the summer, and you put them in there again. It's like put them in the right environment, and they'll pull out good performances. It lends itself to performing well. It brings the best out of people, and as you say, that'll include para athletes trying to make, I suppose, the last chance opportunity to make the World Para Swimming Championships.
Yeah.
Just a few weeks afterwards. I think there's only, is it 10, 13 or so that have qualified at the moment? Is it?
Yeah, just over 10. I think it's 10 to 12 athletes.
We've got Faye Rogers will be part of that, I know, but we're hoping to get one or two other Scottish people onto the para team following that AGB Next Gen Champs.
Yeah, and kind of fingers crossed for that, and what's a kind of unusually timed meet for the para guys, with it being in the middle of September. But
and for them, it's also, even if they're not quite going to make the World's team, there'll be others who are looking at events that are on the schedule for next year's Commonwealth Games, even, because
of course,
the para qualification for that runs basically now, or it's already in play, and it runs through to the end of February, where they've just got to post a time that'll keep them in the top 7 in the rankings in the Commonwealth. Yeah. And you can do that at Next Gen, and you can do that at the World Championships. So those meets also have that added importance. Yeah. Putting yourself in a ranking place to get invited to the Commonwealth Games. Yeah.
So a lot at stake, especially for the para guys at this one, which is really, really good.
Yeah.
We've touched a little bit on the sort of domestic scene there. We've had a lot of international success actually over the past few weeks, which has been really, really good to see across a number of different competitions. So I thought it'd be a good opportunity for us to sit down and maybe have a chat through some of that. And we'll start with the European Under-23s, which is only the second time this competition's ever happened, but it seems to be one that's grown momentum and provides a really good opportunity between that kind of junior swimmer and then being an established senior swimmer. It gives you that sort of international experience between that.
It's still trying to find its place in the calendar, not as in the date of the calendar, but as in how does it fit in relation to the other competitions. You see some people going to it who are actually the very best, who will also be competing at World Championships at the very best, like Popovic from Romania, whereas other people using it, other teams are using it to send not their kind of B team, if you like, not the team that go to World Championships, but who are under 23, but the next level or somewhere below that. Yep. And of course, some teams are sending relatively young people to it who may only be in their late teens as well. So it provides quite a range of exposure, and interesting this year that they put it back to back in the same venue with the European Junior Championships. I'm sure that was to help countries make the two events a bit more affordable. That they were in the same place essentially for that period of time. But as like you said, some really good swimmers from the Scottish element of the British team there.
Yeah, obviously 3 of the 7 Scots that were part of the GB team won individual medals. So Charlie Hutchison with a really strong silver in the 400 metre medley, just missing out on gold in that one, and he also won bronze in the 200 metre freestyle, sharing the podium with Popovic, who we mentioned earlier as well. Lucy Grieve and Matt Ward also picked up bronze medals in the 100 metre butterfly and 100 metre backstroke respectively as well. So great to see sort of individual medalists at European level competition as well.
Yeah, certainly there weren't any easy medals to come by at that event, so to have those 3 collect some individual medal winning performances. I think it took personal best times from Charlie Hutch to do that, and I think there was a few people, he maybe surprised a few people with the standard he was able to demonstrate in the 200 free, 146 I think.
Yeah, that's right.
Performance was, and that's really good for Scotland.
Looking ahead to next year,
and promising. Just building that 4x200 relay, if people can hold their form through that. So, and his 400 medley was also really good, to be fair. Really good performance, I thought that. And Matt and Lucy picking up medals in their favourite events was good too. And then, of course, there was some good relay swimmers on top of that.
Yeah, touching on the relay swims, we sort of unusually saw a Scottish record come in British colours, which is quite cool to see in the mixed 4x1 medley relay. So Matt Ward, who obviously we mentioned had already picked up a medal alongside Lucy Grieve, were joined by Rory Dixon and Evie Davis to set a new Scottish record of 3:48.27. And Evie Davis also won bronze as part of the mixed 4x1 freestyle relay on the last day of competition. So really strong performances there as well, which is great to see.
Yeah, I mean, I guess something that hardly ever happens. I think it has happened 1 or 2 times before in certain events, but having all 4 members of a British medal-winning relay team be Scottish, I think it's something quite amazing, really.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Things have to come together for that to happen, and they swam well as well. So, like you said, British record. So, great to see, and again, it kind of lends itself to these guys swimming together ahead of next year when there's going to be relay opportunities at the Commonwealth Games, which is brilliant. Yeah, they realised that the under-23 so far, because it's a shorter meet, so there isn't quite as many relay events at that. It's only a 3-day tournament, whereas there tends to be more relays in these 6-day meets, like the European Juniors that followed, and Commonwealth Games and World Championships even longer. So you get more relay events in those.
Yeah. And before we move on to the European Juniors, we should mention George Smith and Megan Barnes, who were also part of the team and performed really well as well, and sort of their first experience of non-junior swimming. So
yeah, it was really good. Megan, of course, Scottish athlete, was based out in America. It was good to see her making final.
British champion now as well, obviously in the 400 freestyle. So
400 free British champion back there in April. So. Really good to see her in that team, and George Smith, who trains in Stirling, just gradually coming through every year, just a little bit quicker, and he was strong as well, putting himself in the finals.
And the European Juniors, we saw some really good performances from Dean Fern, and it's been coming for the past couple of years, where he's produced some great swims at the European Juniors before, as well as EYOF and the Commonwealth Youth Games. But he set a new Scottish record of 23.29 in the 50 butterfly, which is very, very quick and a lot faster than he was even at the start of this year. and that won him obviously the gold in that event. He also took a silver in the 100 butterfly with a massive personal best as well. How great is it seeing sort of Dean's progression and setting some, you know, really, really quick times, not just from a junior perspective, but a senior perspective as well.
One thing that's good about Dean, and particularly in that competition, and we can riff about his medals or his times that he produced, but he did one of the things we always try to get younger athletes to think about and focus on and do, which is progress from your heat performance to your semi-final, if you have one. That should be a little bit quicker than your heat, and then from there, if you make the final, you want that to be a little bit quicker again. And he did that in 3 different events: the 100 fly, the 100 back, the 50 fly. He made that progression, heat, semis, final progression across all 3, which again, it sounds easy to do, but it's not easy to put into practice. So I think that was a really good sign for him that he was able to do that. It showed you that he had a good mentality approach. Maybe he was pacing himself well or looking after himself. Because there was some nice feedback from the staff there that said Dean had been very professional and mature, and of course it was his second exposure to the European Juniors, and he'd been at Commonwealth Youth Games before that, and other things, so he's getting quite experienced now, and that is 2 years of European Junior Swimming. He's got 6 medals to his name, so
it's not half bad, is it?
Pretty good, yeah. And then we had Emma Wood,
of course,
who Scottish girl but swims at the City of Leeds in North England, and she was selected for the relay, 4x100 free, and she swam in that, did a pretty good swim I think in the final, and she also contested 100 free and 100 back,
brilliant
as well. So she didn't make the final, but you know, this was her very first international outing.
So. And that can only stand Emma in good stead going forward, as it does for a number of other swimmers in that kind of setting as well. I wonder, just before we kind of go on, it might be quite good to hear from a coaching perspective round about when young athletes go away to these competitions. There is obviously their home coaches, but they can't all be at the competition, of course. How does that relationship work with someone like, for example, Laura Bowie, who's Dean's coach, wasn't at the European Juniors this year? How do you go about, you know, having that communication and making sure that she's aware of what Dean's doing and all the information's passed between as well?
Yeah, and those things can be quite tricky to deal with. They don't always work perfectly well. Sometimes it's down to people's willingness and their personality and their desire to do things. I think coaches always try to help each other out, and that was a good example of Laura working well with the coach that was looking after Dean in Samarin, which was Jamie Fowler from Leeds, and I know he was communicating. We'd be sending a lot of information back to Laura about results and training sets and maybe the video of the race or the race report, and you know, Laura said that was really good, but prior to that she would have sent him guidelines on what the training sets are and what the Dean's been focusing on and working towards in his races, what his goals are and his objectives, maybe his race plan, that kind of thing, what his stroke rate should be and his stroke count, those sort of things are the types of information that you want those coaches to pass that back and forward between each other and do it because it helps, but at the same time there's also got to be that element of person in the arena has to deal with what's going on in the arena, so sometimes decisions have to be made
of course,
on the ground in a moment, you know, and you can't just consult all the time. There has to be that element of, right, it's over to you now, and over to the swimmer, in fact. You know, the coach in any situation has to step out of the limelight, if you like, step away and let the light shine on the athlete, and so it's on you now. We've set you up. And
you can always learn from that after, right? But sometimes it's just that moment of you need to do it and not dwell on it and just make the decision.
Yeah, the one of the big dangers in those international teams when you're coaching there, and you might only have to look after 3 or 4 swimmers in your wee group. Normally you're used to going to meets with your squad and you've got 20 swimmers to look after. You think it's a wee bit of a luxury coaching great athletes. Only a handful of them. It can lead to what we'd call overcoaching, where you try a bit too hard. You know, and you think you've got to intervene in everything and ask questions and talk through and make plans and all sorts of stuff. But sometimes you actually have to recognise where, now's the moment to step in, but also what's the moment to step aside and just not say anything. Just let it go and don't be over on top of the athlete all the time. Put some trust in the athlete. If you see they're struggling, or you think they might be struggling with something, you step in. But if they're happy and sat with focusing on their race with their earphones on, listening to music, don't go and interrupt them.
Of course.
They don't always want you to do that. They want to just.
I guess that it's difficult, isn't it? Especially when you might not know the athlete as well, and it's sort of balancing every bit of information you've got and trying to work out what's best for the swimmer at the end of the day.
In the past, when I did some British teams when I was a bit younger, we were told we had to phone the home coach every day.
Okay.
At some point within the day, you just had to connect.
And
I think that's good where you might need to, and I'm sure people do that, but with the way communications are now on phones, and there's so many different methods of getting in touch and sending documents and files, and just it might be just a screenshot on a send on a WhatsApp and bang, right? Or you'll get the race video. The coach in the arena will get the race video from the data. The video analyst 5 minutes after the race. They can get that on their phone, send it across to the home coach, and they're already got.
It's all so much quicker, isn't it? And centred around performance and centred around the athlete.
So you've got to be quite savvy at all that stuff as well. I think in the modern coaching world, you've got to be. Some coaches are really good at that. They're on top of that really well. Just, technology, make best use of it. So it's on you. It's on the coach to kind of learn how to do that, really, I suppose.
Absolutely. One or a couple of other athletes we should definitely touch on before we move on to upcoming World Championships, and that is our divers Noah Penman and Jamila Eakin. And Noah won a fantastic silver medal at the Senior European Championships earlier in the summer. Fantastic performance in the 3 metre springboard, and he also won a silver medal in the 1 metre springboard at the European Juniors alongside Jamila Eakin from Edinburgh Diving Club, who had their first ever experience of the European Juniors, who got a 5th place, which was absolutely fantastic after suffering from a bit of injury in the past couple of months. So great to see those performances in diving as well, and seeing Noah do so well in a senior context and a junior context as well.
Yeah, they were very good. Noah's obviously starting to pick up medals quite frequently now at events he goes to, and is definitely a talent to look out for going forward. And I know the GB squad is, or the GB coaches are looking closely at him as what he might be able to contribute for GB going forward. So very good from him again, senior level and junior level. I think this might be the last time we can do a junior event.
I believe so.
But good from Jamila as well, coming through and making that team and then doing a good performance at the event. So.
Yeah, easier said than done. On to World Championships, and I thought would take the opportunity to test you on some swimming knowledge, Wrighty, as well as knowledge about Singapore, where obviously the World Aquatics Championships are being held.
You're trying to catch me out now.
Yeah, well that's the aim. So we've got
If I don't get it, it means I've forgotten it.
That's I know there's a lot of information going on in your head. So, but yeah, with 5 questions. So we'll see how you get on with these, and we'll start with the Singapore ones. So, True or false, Scotland and Singapore have almost exactly the same population?
I'm not sure. I'm going to say that's true.
Yeah, it's true. So Singapore population is about 5.44 million and Scotland's is 5.5. So very similar, although Singapore is obviously much smaller.
Much
than
more
Scotland.
higher density
Yes.
of population than Scotland.
Yes, so an interesting one and a bit of a tie between the countries there. What is the main religion of Singapore?
Well, I know they have high population. I don't know the exact percentages, but there's a lot of what we call Westerners, UK patriots out there, other Western countries, a lot of Chinese.
Yeah.
And then there's the home nation as well. So I'm going to say it's Mandarin. So that's language.
Yeah. Mandarin is, I believe,
it's the dominant language. Yeah.
Dominant language.
As for religion, I'm not really sure what would be.
Buddhism.
I was going to say that.
Yeah, that's it.
But I didn't know if all Chinese people favour that or.
Yeah. Buddhism just over 33%, I believe it said. So
I was going to go with that one.
So there you go. So that's one so far, but it was a decent effort at that. But we'll move on to the swimming knowledge, where I think it'll be a wee bit more comfortable. So we'll start with one about Duncan Scott. Obviously, the most decorated Scottish swimmer of all time at the Olympic Games, but has done a number of positive things in a World Champs contest as well. So at the 2019 World Championships, Duncan Scott led off the 4x200 metre freestyle relay. The team finished 5th, but Duncan set a new British record at the time. What was the time to the nearest tenth of a second?
1:45.0.
You're very close. It was 1:44.91. So
within a tenth.
Within a tenth. So yeah, I'll give you that one. Very, very impressive. But yeah, a 5th place finish for Britain that time. We'll be hoping that isn't repeated this time round.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good challenge from the Americans that coming at them.
Yeah,
the
Americans looked very strong at the trials.
The strongest 4x2 that they've put together for a number of years, I think. So, and I knew it's not the world record holder, but they've had a swimmer come through and it's gone into the 1:43s. This year, so it puts their fastest swimmer is currently faster than our fastest swimmer.
Yeah, I guess from a GB perspective, what is in our favour is we always tend to turn up, and there's always a level of consistency between the 4 that other countries look at and would love to have, right?
Yeah, we've got 4 really world class people in that event.
Yeah.
We could all win medals individually.
Yeah. So that makes a massive difference. Moving on to another relay question. So Garrett Evans is on our first first long course World Champs team, should I say, for GB. But she was also at the short course championships back in December and part of the women's 4x1 medley relay, which won a silver medal. Who else was part of the quartet that won that medal back in December?
Who's also on the team?
It was a slightly unusual 4.
I think Abby Wood.
Yes.
Did the backstroke.
Yeah.
Strangely.
Yeah.
Enough. Eva Claro.
Yeah.
Did the fly.
Yeah.
And Freya did. Was it Freya Anderson did the free?
Yes, Freya Anderson. So yeah, Abby Wood on the backstroke, you're correct. And Garrett obviously on the breaststroke with Eva going on the fly and Freya Anderson as the freestyle leg. So spot on there as well.
Almost a trick question.
Almost, yeah, it was, but you got there. And touching on another short course World Championships for our last question, it was Katie Shanahan's first experience of a Senior World Championships as well. It was back in 2021 in Abu Dhabi. How many medals did GB win at that meet? Tough one to end on.
In 2021?
2021. So off the back of the Tokyo Olympics, and it was a slightly smaller team that went. I believe it was Katie, Lucy and Duncan were the only Scottish representatives from that side.
Post Tokyo.
Post Tokyo.
How many medals? God, I don't know. The whole team, not just the Scottish.
The whole team, yeah, whole GB team. They were, I believe, 13th in the medal table.
I said 4 or 5 medals.
Two medals.
Two medals,
yeah.
two.
So, not a great one, and again, we're hoping it's not a repeat.
But different context.
This time. Different context, but obviously the Katie Shannon's first ever experience of a World Championships team, and she'll be going to her second long course World Champs this summer in Singapore. So 3 out of 5, pretty good, righty. Maybe some difficult questions in there, but I think the swimming ones you were pretty close on. So happy enough with that. But before we finish, we'll just touch on obviously the guys into the World Champs. We've got a really strong team going, featuring a few of the names that we just discussed. So obviously Duncan Scott and Gareth Evans and Katie Shanahan, sort of more experienced campaigners as well. Lucy Hope and Kiana McInnes are there, alongside first time World Champs squad members Holly McGill and Evan Jones. What are your thoughts kind of heading in? I think there's likely to be some really strong swims from our guys, isn't there?
Well, you would hope so. I'm pretty sure they've prepared well. I know they've had good training camps leading in, and then I'm sure the prep camp they go away this. Well, they're already away, aren't they? On to the prep camp in Thailand. So I'm sure that they're used to doing those kind of things. Those things are fairly well rehearsed now.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of keeping calm and staying focused on the job, right? So.
Of course.
I don't foresee any issues with that. So then going into the meet, it'll be interesting because I think it will be a strong World Championships. Sometimes, historically, not always, but sometimes the year after an Olympic year can be a little bit weaker.
Yeah.
In terms of World Championships, because remember some people have retired and some people use it as a bit of an off season. And again, there's one or two swimmers doing that, but I think it'll be a strong event across the board. You can see already, like this year, there's been certain swimmers around the world putting in world record performances at what you'd call in-season meets. Summer McIntosh, Kate Ledecky, like outstanding performances. Gretchen Walsh, the American, and Kate Douglas. The American female team looks really strong right now, and as we were touching on a moment ago, there some of their men are moving forward. They've got a kind of maybe slightly new group of men coming in. One or two have been there in the past, but slightly different flavour to it, I think, now. Some of the big names that they used to have are not there, and they've got a new staffing structure as well as part of their team, so very interested to see how they get on. They've been under a little bit of media pressure, if you like, to say, are the Australians getting better than them, or what's going on, and
the usual sort of tit for tat that you get between the Aussies.
You can never be quite sure which level of Chinese team is coming, because they don't always prioritise these events. They have sometimes other events which they're focusing on, like Asian Games and Chinese national events. So, but we know they've got some really strong swimmers, particularly in the breaststroke, particularly in the freestyle. Really tough. I think some of the Russians are back in, but under the neutral flag. So that again, it's in a different flavour that's not been there the last couple of years always. So there'll be opportunities for the British team, without doubt, but none of them are going to come by them easily. No,
it's going to be hard fought for anything. As it always is at the very, very top level.
But we don't have PT racing this time. He's not retired yet, but he's just he's one of those who's kind of taking the year out. So in the past, we've kind of gone into some of the world champs knowing people like him are like pretty much guaranteed a medal, if not a gold medal. Because they're world ranked number 1, and we knew he'd have to swim bad for it
not to happen.
And we don't have that in this situation. It'll be a strong competition, but there might be certain events we haven't seen the lineup yet, because it's not all information's not all out there yet. But there might be, I suspect, certain events in the schedule where it's like that looks a bit weaker than it might be, where there might be an opportunity for a Shanahan or a Colbert to go, oh, I fancy my chances there.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not far away. If I swim my best time, get on it and swim my best time in a final.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, they were both in the Olympic finals where they were 4th or 5th place, not far away from the medals. You know,
and then all it takes is one person to have an off day or not be involved or to retire, as you say, as well. So it's sort of the opportunities are there, and we've got an awful lot of high quality athletes across a number of events.
And clearly a big chance will come in the men's 4x200. Again, defending champions.
Yeah.
But the Americans are going to push hard. The Australians ain't going to give that one up easily. The South Koreans are good on that as well. We know in Europe the Germans are swimming really well, especially on the distance events where we're not so strong at the moment. But we've got good opportunities. You might be looking at an Ollie Morgan in the 100 backstroke.
Yeah, of course.
I think he might still be world ranked number 1 going in at the moment.
Yeah.
Or close to that.
Yeah.
So it's going to be hard, but there'll be chances to be fought for. Ben Proud being another one, I suppose.
Yeah, of course.
53 for sure. Maybe the 50 fly as well if he's up for that one. He's won medals in both of those before.
Yeah.
So, and I think we'll see now that we know the 50s are part of LA and the Olympics in 3 years' time. There might be more people starting to just put that bit extra focus on 50. So you might expect the strength of them to go up when people start entering them where they might not have done so in the past. People will be trying out their form in those, so that'll be interesting too. But you know, there's a lot of if the form going in, as just mentioned from a lot of people, has been good, there's going to be a lot of heightened expectation at the event with
of course.
Can some McIntosh and Kate Ledecky, are they going to be racing each other at any point? How's that going to go down? You know, I think Ariana Titmus won't be there this time, so that she won't be in that battle with them. But again, some really fast swimming ahead, and as a competition, I think it'll be great for swimming.
Yeah, absolutely. And just lastly, before we finish, obviously Holly McGill and Evan Jones are making their first teams, and really great to see new blood from a Scottish perspective be on a senior world champs team. Evan sort of being involved in that 4x2 fight, and Holly on the backstroke as well. So great to have that. Yeah.
Evan will be part of that relay squad. I don't know how they're going to swim that yet. I would expect to see him in the heats of that event, helping the team get to the final. It'd be unlikely at this point to say he'd be in the final, but you never can tell.
Never know.
It depends how fast people are going. And Holly will be in the 200 backstroke, and if she swims to her personal best level, you'd expect her to be in the final. You know, Katie Shannon and Honey Oswin were in the Olympic final for that event last year. I suppose Holly's just got ahead of Honey Oswin this year. Still the same kind of level. So her best time will be enough to get her there, but it's whether
or not
she can deliver that in the heats. She's going to have to go heats, then semi-finals, and first of all to get through there. So, but you know, she's always an impressive swimmer to me. So she has a really good mental approach to her races and a very kind of calm attitude, but a focused one. She'll not be overwhelmed by it or anything like that. So I'm sure she'll be giving it a good show. Diving at the World Championships to come, Grace Reid, I think we have.
Yeah, Grace and Noah, who've discussed previously as well.
So you know, lots of aquatic action coming up, and we hope Scotland as well in it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks very much for coming back on, Wrighty, and
no problem.
Sure we'll have you on at some point again.
Thanks again to Ian for popping on the podcast once again, and thanks to you all for listening at home. We hope you've enjoyed the podcast, and if you did enjoy it, please leave us a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, and leave us a like and a comment if you're listening on YouTube. Until next time, thank you very much.